Space was calm, cold, and silent when the story began. The Galactic Empire patrol ship Krex 12 moved through the dark, empty region known as Sector Void Line 7. It was a dead zone, a place where nothing ever happened. Empire officers used this region for training, because there were no threats, no danger, and no life. At least, that was what everyone believed. Inside the bridge of Krex 12, Captain Varos Tellin stood with his hands behind his back, watching the stars. He was calm, relaxed, and even a little bored. The Empire ruled hundreds of systems, and their control felt unbreakable. Humans, the old enemy, had been silent for centuries. No human ship had been seen in a long time. Some said humans were extinct. Others said humans had run away to hide. For Captain Varos, humans were nothing more than old stories. But that changed in one moment. A loud alarm broke the silence. Energy spike detected. Source unknown. The bridge crew jumped into action. Officers tapped screens and shouted readings. Captain Varos turned, confused. "Where is the spike coming from?" he demanded. "Directly ahead, sir," an officer replied. "But there is nothing in that area. No warp gate, no ship lanes, no planets." The captain frowned. A sensor spike in a dead zone made no sense. The spike grew stronger, fast. "Is it a system error?" Varos asked. The officer shook his head. "No, sir. The energy level is still rising." The lights flickered. Static ran across every screen. For a moment, everything on the ship went quiet, as if space itself was holding its breath. Then something impossible happened. Space tore open. A giant tear, like a wound in the universe, appeared in front of the patrol ship. Blue light cracked through the darkness, spreading wider and wider. The crew stared, frozen in shock. "Is it a wormhole?" one officer whispered. "No," another whispered back. "We don't have tech like this." A dark shape formed inside the tear. A shape larger than anything the Empire had ever built. The tear expanded until it looked like a massive glowing doorway, and the shape inside slowly moved forward, cold, silent, and terrifying. The captain's voice trembled. "Magnify that, now." The screen zoomed in. And everyone on the bridge stopped breathing. A massive warship emerged. It was black like the void, smooth and sharp like a blade. The hull had no markings, no windows, no lights, only dark metal with faint glowing lines. The engines were silent, but the energy readings were off the charts. The crew stared in disbelief. That looks human," one officer whispered. "That is impossible," Captain Varos replied. But even he couldn't hide the fear in his voice. The ship continued to come out of the tear, bigger and bigger. When it finally cleared the portal, the tear slowly closed behind it. Space became normal again, but nothing felt normal. The Empire patrol ship Krex 12 was tiny compared to the giant intruder. "Size calculation?" the captain asked. The computer took several seconds, too long. Then it displayed the result. Length, 19.8 kilometers. A whisper spread through the bridge. A dreadnought. A human dreadnought. But no human fleet had ever built something this size. No empire in the galaxy had a warship this massive. Fear spread across the crew. Some officers took a step back from their stations. Others simply stared in horror. "Is it powering weapons?" Varos asked quickly. "No, sir. No weapon charge detected." It was not attacking. It was waiting. That somehow made everything scarier. A communication officer looked up. "Sir, it is not sending any signal. No message. No identification." The captain swallowed hard. "And scanners?" "They can't read the armor, sir. Our scans bounce off. It's like scanning a black hole." The dreadnought moved slightly, just a slow rotation like it was observing the much smaller Empire ship. The dreadnought did not feel like a ship. It felt alive. Captain Varos whispered, "What are you, human creation?" Before anyone could answer, a new alarm rang. Multiple red icons appeared on the star map. Empire fleets from nearby regions were rushing toward the location. Krex 12 sent an urgent message. "Unknown supership detected. Potential human origin. Requesting backup immediately." Within minutes, 20 Empire destroyers, 8 cruisers, and 2 battleships jumped into formation. The space around the dreadnought filled with Empire steel. But none of the ships fired. No one dared. Everyone waited for the dreadnought to make the first move. The dreadnought slowly turned its front toward the Empire fleet. Its engines glowed brighter, like the ship was waking up after a long sleep. Silence filled every ship. Then the comms officer shouted, "Sir. The dreadnought, it's scanning the entire fleet." Captain Varos felt cold fear run through him. Humans were not supposed to have this kind of power. Humans were supposed to be gone. But the ship in front of them told a different story. A terrifying story. A story the Empire was not ready for. And as the Dreadnought finished its silent scan, the entire Empire fleet felt one thing: panic. The massive human Dreadnought had scanned the entire Empire fleet, but even after that it did not attack. It only floated there in the dark space like a sleeping monster that had just opened one eye. Inside the Empire command ship Valkyrin, High Commander Reth Vorian stared at the giant vessel on the screen. He was an experienced officer who fought in many battles, but even he felt his hands shaking. He spoke quietly, "This cannot be a human ship. Humans never built anything like this." But his second-in-command, Officer Lyra Sen, answered with worry in her voice. "Sir, the design matches ancient human patterns. But the size, the power level, this is something new." The Dreadnought moved again, just a small shift, but every Empire ship reacted by powering shields and charging weapons. The fear in the air was heavy. Commander Reth gave a strict order: "Maintain distance. No one fires unless I command." Across the fleet, dozens of captains stared at their screens, waiting. The Dreadnought's dark hull reflected none of the light from nearby stars. It looked unnatural, almost like it was absorbing everything around it. Suddenly, another alarm activated. Long-range scanners detect a second energy wave. The officer on Krex 12 swallowed hard. "Is another ship coming?" "No, sir," the scanner replied. "The energy is coming from the Dreadnought itself." The Dreadnought's hull glowed faintly with deep red lines, like veins waking up under metal skin. The glow spread, slowly, until the entire ship looked alive. Every Empire ship pulled back another few kilometers. Captain Varos of Krex 12 whispered, "It's powering something." On the Empire flagship, the tension broke when Officer Lyra shouted, "We are receiving a signal." Everyone froze. "A message?" Commander Reth asked. "Yes, sir. The signal is coming directly from the Dreadnought." "Put it on screen." The bridge turned silent. The screen flickered. Static filled the speakers. Then, finally, a voice came through. A human voice. "Colt, come. Galactic Empire fleet, stand down." No one moved. The voice continued, "You are not the target. Do not interfere." Commander Reth felt chills down his back. The Dreadnought knew who they were, and it did not care. He replied, trying to sound strong, "This is the Empire High Commander. Identify yourself." The Dreadnought did not answer. Instead, a wave of energy pushed out from the human ship. All Empire scanners went offline. Lights flickered. Several ships lost control for a moment. Officers scrambled to fix systems. "What was that?" Lyra shouted. "A scanner pulse," the engineer answered. "But it wasn't a normal scan. It shut our systems down." Commander Reth clenched his fists. "Humans should not have this technology. This is beyond anything we know." Meanwhile, back on Krex 12, Captain Varos watched the Dreadnought's movements carefully. He noticed something strange. "Zoom in on the front armor," he ordered. The screen focused on a glowing symbol on the Dreadnought's bow. The symbol was old. Very old. It was the emblem of the Terran Vanguard, humanity's legendary war division. The same division that vanished 200 years ago. Officers stared at the mark with fear. "The Vanguard was extinct," one whispered. "No," Captain Varos replied slowly. "They went silent. And maybe they were preparing." Suddenly, multiple Empire ships began to panic. "Sir." Unknown energy building around the Dreadnought. Commander Reth's eyes widened. "Is it a weapon?" "No idea, sir." Then something even stranger happened. The Dreadnought opened a massive hangar at its lower side. Black drones, thousands of them, poured out like a cloud of metal insects. They formed a giant swarm around the human ship. Every Empire ship pointed weapons at them. "Hold fire," Commander Reth said, though his voice trembled. The drones expanded, forming a circular shield around the Dreadnought, an energy field unlike anything the Empire ever saw. It was dark purple, swirling like smoke inside glass. "What is this?" Lyra whispered. "Protection," Commander Reth said. "They are expecting an attack." Captain Varos looked at the formation and felt dread in his chest. If the Dreadnought was preparing defenses, then something bigger was coming. Something even the human supership was preparing for. Suddenly, the Dreadnought broadcasted a second message, this time in a warning tone. "Do not block our path." The message ended. Commander Reth felt the air grow colder. He gave the order no Empire commander ever expected to give. "All ships, Begin retreat formation. Officers were stunned. Sir? Retreat? But we are not ready to fight this ship, Reth said. If humans have returned with this kind of power, we must inform the Emperor. The Empire fleet slowly pulled back. The Dreadnought turned away from them, moving toward the deep, dark part of space. Its engines glowed brighter, lighting the path ahead like a silent titan. Before disappearing into the darkness, the Dreadnought sent one final message. You have been warned. Then it vanished into warp travel, without using any warp gate. Empire ships could not even detect the direction it went. Commander Reth whispered the words everyone else was thinking. Humans have returned, and they are no longer weak. The Empire fleet floated in silence long after the human Dreadnought vanished into the darkness. No one spoke. No one moved. It felt as if the entire galaxy had suddenly changed and they were the last to know. On the Empire flagship Valkyrin, Commander Reth stood in front of the screen, staring at the empty space where the Dreadnought once was. He whispered, "Humans, what have you become?" Officer Lyra approached him carefully. "Sir, all ships report partial damage. Systems are unstable. The human pulse disrupted everything." Reth nodded slowly. "They scanned us, and shut us down, using technology we cannot understand." Lyra lowered her voice. "Sir, the Emperor must see this." He agreed. They needed answers. They needed a plan. Most of all, they needed to understand how humans built something beyond logic. The Empire High Council reacts. Hours later, inside the Grand Chamber of the Empire High Council, holograms of the damaged fleet officers appeared. They were giving a full report about the encounter. The councilors, 12 powerful leaders, listened with shocked expressions. Councilor Jiro leaned forward. "A ship almost 20 kilometers long? Where did humans get such resources?" Reth's hologram responded, "We don't know. But its shield drones, its armor, its silent warp movement, nothing matches any known blueprint." Councilor Hannah frowned. "Humans have been silent for centuries. How could they build something like this without anyone knowing?" Reth looked directly at the council. "It means one thing. Humans were not silent. They were preparing." The room fell silent. Even the Emperor, sitting on the high seat, seemed unsettled. His cold voice echoed. "Have we attempted communication?" Lyra's voice answered, "The Dreadnought only sent 2 messages, my Emperor. Both were warnings. It refused to identify itself." The Emperor narrowed his eyes. "Humans do not warn unless they plan something greater." Councilor Jiro asked, "What was their destination?" Reth shook his head. "Unknown. They warped without a gate. Our sensors cannot track them." The Emperor leaned forward. "Then we must find them. At any cost." The search begins. The Empire sent scout ships across multiple sectors. Every system near the Void Line region was filled with probes and observation drones. But none found a trace of the Dreadnought. Some officers whispered theories. Maybe the humans have their own hidden network. Maybe the Dreadnought can bend space. Maybe humans have technology older than the Empire itself. Others were more afraid. What if more Dreadnoughts exist? What if this is only the first one? Meanwhile, in deep space, far away from Empire territory, the human Dreadnought moved through silent darkness. Inside, systems hummed smoothly and thousands of blue lights glowed along the corridors. The ship was not empty. Inside a command chamber, a tall figure in black armor stood in front of a projection map. A human, Commander Aiden Cross of the Terran Vanguard. His eyes followed the galaxy map slowly. Aiden spoke in a calm, deep voice. "They followed our arrival faster than expected." An AI voice replied from the walls. "The Empire fears your presence. Their fleets are retreating." Aiden nodded. "Good. Fear buys us time." A second hologram appeared, showing a distant, unmarked star system. Aiden stared at it. "That is where we go next. The Empire must not reach it before we do." The AI asked, "Should we hide our energy signature again, Commander?" Aiden answered slowly, "No. Let them feel our presence. Let them wonder. Let their fear grow." The Dreadnought's engines glowed brighter. The ship vanished into silent warp. The Empire discovers a new threat. Back inside Empire territory, a scout ship received a strange reading. The captain immediately contacted Commander Reth. "Sir, we found something at the edge of Dark Sector 11. Reth replied, "A human trail?" "No, sir. Something worse." Reth arrived at the location hours later with a small fleet. When he saw what the scouts discovered, he felt a cold chill run through him. A large asteroid had been sliced perfectly in half. Not broken. Not smashed. Cut. Like a knife through soft metal. Lyra whispered, "This must be the Dreadnought's warning shot." Reth nodded. "The humans are telling us they do not want war. But they will destroy anything if forced." Suddenly the scanners detected something else. A message burned into the surface of the split asteroid. Not carved. Not drilled. Burned with extreme precision. The writing was Old Terran script, the human alphabet. Commander Reth translated it out loud. "Last warning." Silence fell over the entire fleet. Reth exhaled slowly. "This is not the humans we once knew. This is something far more dangerous." Lyra looked at him. "Sir, what do we do now?" Reth answered with fear and honesty. "We pray this Dreadnought is alone." But it was not alone. Far away, in another dark region of space, two more massive shapes began to activate. And their engines started to glow. Two more giant shapes awakened in the far darkness of space, but the Empire did not know that yet. Their engines glowed softly, like sleeping beasts opening their eyes for the first time in centuries. But the galaxy felt something. A pressure. A silent warning. A storm growing in the dark. Empire headquarters, growing panic. Inside the Empire capital spire, alarms echoed as new reports arrived. Commander Reth and Officer Lyra stood before the Emperor again. The council chamber was filled with tension. Large screens showed the sliced asteroid and the burned message. "Last warning." The Emperor's voice was sharp. "This message, is it confirmed to be human?" Reth nodded. "Yes, my Emperor. The pattern, the burnt edges, the script, all match Terran technology." Counselor Hannah whispered, "Humans disappeared for more than 2 centuries. Why return now?" Reth answered, "Because they did not disappear. They prepared." A heavy silence filled the room. Then Reth continued, "A single Dreadnought, with power strong enough to scare our entire fleet. If more ships like that exist." The Emperor raised his hand. "Do not finish that sentence." Even he was afraid to imagine it. Meanwhile, inside the human Dreadnought, deep within the massive warship, Commander Aiden Cross watched the hologram of the sliced asteroid. He stood with calm confidence, like everything was going according to plan. The AI voice echoed around him. "The Empire has discovered the message." Aiden replied, "Good. That will slow them down." Another hologram appeared, a map of a hidden star system. A peaceful-looking planet shined faintly at the center. The AI spoke again. "Shall I prepare a communication broadcast?" Aiden nodded. "Yes. The galaxy must know what is coming." He took a deep breath, then began recording. His voice was cold but powerful. "The broadcast begins." Across dozens of Empire star systems, screens suddenly flickered. Military centers, war rooms, stations, even civilian networks, all were taken over. Engineers panicked. Comm officers shouted. Commanders tried to shut down the signal. But nothing worked. The AI override was too strong. A single symbol appeared on every screen. The Terran Vanguard emblem. People gasped. Old soldiers froze. Then a human face appeared, Commander Aiden Cross. His voice filled the Empire. "To the Galactic Empire. You have been warned once. You will not get another." Empire leaders felt their hearts sink. Aiden continued, "We have returned. Not for war. But for something you must not interfere with." The Emperor clenched his jaw. "You do not understand what sleeps in the dark." Reth whispered, "What does he mean by that?" Aiden's eyes were cold. "We will cross your territory soon. Do not block our path. Do not send fleets after us. And do not provoke us again." The broadcast intensified. Screens glowed brighter. "Because next time, we will not fire a warning shot." With that, the message ended. Every screen went dark. Every ship went silent. Every officer stared in shock. Empire Council chaos. Immediately, the council exploded into argument. "This is a threat. We must raise the Grand Fleet. We must strike first. No, humans will destroy us." Voices clashed everywhere. But the Emperor stayed quiet, thinking. Finally, he spoke softly but firmly. "Commander Reth." Reth stepped forward. "Yes, my Emperor. You saw this Dreadnought. Tell me honestly, can we stop it?" Reth looked down ashamed. "No, my Emperor. Not with our current fleet. The Dreadnought is beyond our understanding." "Is there any weakness?" Reth hesitated, then answered. "No visible weakness. Even our strongest missile did nothing." The Emperor closed his eyes for a moment. Then he stood. "We cannot fight a war we cannot win." Reth nodded. "But, The Emperor added, "We must protect the Empire." A new plan. The Emperor gave a chilling order. "Prepare the Shadow Intelligence Division." Counselors gasped. "That group is forbidden. They were shut down decades ago." The Emperor stared at them. "We need information. We need spies. We need to know the humans' true goal." He continued, "Send agents to follow the Dreadnought. From a distance. Silent. Invisible." Reth bowed. "As you command." But deep inside he feared the truth. If the humans detected the spies, the Empire would face destruction. Meanwhile, at the edge of the galaxy, the human Dreadnought slowed near a star system hidden in nebula dust. Aiden Cross stepped forward as the bridge screens revealed the planet he had been searching for. A blue world, shining faintly in the dark. Aiden whispered, "We finally found it." The AI responded, "Should we notify the others?" Aiden's eyes glowed with determination. "Yes. Wake them." Far in the darkness, the other two massive shapes began to activate fully. Engines roared. Hull lights glowed. More human dreadnoughts, awakening. Not one. Not two. Three. And they were coming together. For something big. Something the Empire could not imagine. The galaxy felt heavier as the three massive human dreadnoughts awakened in the deep dark. Their engines glowed like three rising suns. Their metal bodies were silent, but powerful. They moved with purpose as if they had been waiting centuries for this single moment. Inside the lead dreadnought, Commander Aiden Cross watched the other two ships join formation. Their names appeared on the hologram. TDS Vengeance, TDS Nightfall, TDS Leviathan. Three super warships, built in secret by the Terran Vanguard. Aiden whispered, "The Empire will panic when they learn we are not alone." The AI answered calmly, "Their panic has already begun." Empire Shadow agents begin their mission. Inside an unmarked black ship hidden inside a nebula cloud, a small team from the Empire's forbidden spy group, Shadow Intelligence Division, prepared for the most dangerous mission of their lives. Their leader, Agent Ravik Sol, checked the silent scanners. The ship was coated with stealth tech so advanced that even the Empire barely understood it. Agent Mira spoke nervously. "Sir, tracking a human dreadnought is suicide." Ravik replied in a low voice. "Our Emperor commands it. We observe from a distance. No contact. No mistakes." Their ship slowly followed the faint energy trail of the dreadnoughts, like a mouse trying to track lions. But even from far away Ravik felt fear. These ships were not normal warships. They were something else. Something ancient. Something awakened. Empire military prepares for the worst. In the Empire's Grand War Hall, thousands of officers stood before holograms showing the human broadcast and the massive dreadnought's silhouette. General Karan slammed his fist on the table. "Humans threaten us, and the Emperor wants us to sit quietly? This is cowardice." Other generals nodded. Some shouted. Some demanded war. General Vask, an older officer, raised his voice. "If we fire first, we die first. You saw the asteroid. You saw the message. Humans have technology beyond anything in our empire." "Then what?" Karan yelled. "We bow to them?" Vask answered softly. "No. We survive them." But while the generals argued, something else was happening. A message arrived from a patrol ship. A message that froze the entire war hall. New reading detected. 3 unknown supervessels. Silence. Cold shock. Fear. The generals stared at the hologram. "What, 3? We barely handled one. This cannot be happening." General Karan whispered. "If humans bring 3 dreadnoughts into our territory, the Empire is finished." Human dreadnoughts approached their destination. The 3 human dreadnoughts moved together through the darkness. Their formation looked like 3 giant predators hunting something unseen. Aiden Cross stood in his command chamber, watching as the destination planet grew closer. The planet was small, covered in blue mist, unnamed on most maps. Aiden whispered, "It is here." The AI responded, "The signal is deep underground. Nothing has disturbed it for centuries." Aiden nodded. "Prepare the descent. The Vanguard will finish what was started centuries ago. Empire agents get too close." Meanwhile, Agent Ravik's stealth ship followed the dreadnoughts carefully. They kept maximum distance and scanned silently. Agent Mira whispered, "Sir, they're moving toward an uncharted world." Ravik frowned. Why would humans want a forgotten planet? Before they could wonder further, the scanners picked up something terrifying. A single human drone broke formation. It slowly moved backward, toward their position. Ravik froze. It sees us, Mira whispered. No, Ravik replied. That's impossible. Our ship is invisible. But the drone kept drifting toward them. Closer, closer, closer. Then, ping. Their ship shook. A single red light appeared on the screen. Detected. Mira screamed, they found us. Ravik shouted, evasive maneuver. Now. The stealth ship turned sharply and fled into a nebula cloud. The drone did not chase them, but its silent message went straight back to Aiden Cross. Aiden Cross reacts. Inside the Dreadnought, Aiden received the alert. Unauthorized vessel detected. Aiden's eyes narrowed. Empire spies. The AI asked calmly, shall we destroy them? Aiden thought for a moment. No. Let them run. Let them report what they saw. A dark smile formed on his face. The Empire must know how hopeless their situation is. Empire shock. The truth reaches the Emperor. Ravik's battered stealth ship rushed back into Empire space. Within hours, the Emperor received their report. 3 human dreadnoughts, moving together, toward a forgotten world. The Emperor trembled. 3? 3 ships with the power to slice a moon in half. Reth bowed his head. My Emperor, even our grand fleet cannot face this. The Emperor stood, voice cold. We must prepare for an evacuation plan. The entire room gasped. Evacuation? For the whole Empire? Has it come to that? The Emperor whispered. If humans unleash all their power, the Empire will fall. On the hidden planet, something awakens. Meanwhile, the 3 human dreadnoughts arrived at the strange, mist-covered planet. The ships formed a triangle around it. Aiden Cross looked down at the world with deep focus. This is where it begins. The AI asked, shall we begin extraction? Aiden nodded. Yes. The artifact must not fall into Empire hands. Deep under the planet's surface, something ancient began to pulse. Something powerful. Something the Empire would fear more than the dreadnoughts themselves. A bright blue glow shot into the sky. The extraction had begun, and the Empire had no idea what was coming. The bridge of the Imperial battleship Ravian Crown fell into cold silence. Every officer, every soldier, every sensor tech stared at the screens with frozen fear. The human dreadnought, that impossible ancient-looking giant, had finally moved. For the first time. A small motion. A slow turn. But it felt like the whole galaxy was shaking. Commander Varkesh felt sweat dripping down his back. His voice trembled even though he tried to hide it. Report, he whispered. What is the human ship doing? No one answered. They were too scared. The ship was not supposed to move. Its engines were not supposed to exist. Its weapons were beyond known science. And now, it was looking at them. The dreadnought's front hull shifted, and the strange blue lights along its surface brightened. Not with the soft glow from before, but with power. A weapons officer finally found his voice. Commander, we think the dreadnought is charging something. The words hit the entire crew like a force wave. Charging what? Varkesh asked. We do not know, the officer said. No database matches the energy pattern. Try scanning again. We already did, sir. The scan failed. It failed the moment the ship moved. Varkesh stared at the screen. The dreadnought now faced the entire Imperial fleet. 9 battleships, 22 cruisers, 47 escorts, a full strike armada. And yet, all their guns, all their shields, all their missiles, felt useless. They were metal toys against the storm. Varkesh swallowed hard. Send a warning to command, he said quietly. Tell them, the humans are not passive. And they are not weak. Inside the dreadnought, humans watched the Imperial fleet with calm eyes. The dreadnought's bridge was quiet, peaceful, almost sacred. Captain Mira Solis stood at the center, her hands resting behind her back. She was young for a dreadnought captain, but her eyes carried the weight of 1,000 years of silence. She looked at the floating hologram that showed the Imperial ships. They are afraid, one of her officers said softly. Fear is good, Mira answered. It means they will think. And when they think, they will hesitate. Should we fire? The officer asked. Mira shook her head. Not yet. The Empire must understand the truth first. The truth? Another officer asked. Mira turned to them. That we are done hiding. Her voice was calm, but every word felt like thunder. For 3 centuries, the galaxy thought humans were silent. Weak. Gone. But we were not weak. We were preparing. Waiting. And now, the officer whispered. Mira smiled slightly. Now we remind them who we are. The Dreadnought's power core pulsed with a deep, ancient sound. A sound that felt like the heartbeat of a giant waking from a long sleep. Back to the Imperial fleet. The Ravian Crown's sensors lit up again. "Commander," the sensor tech shouted. "The Dreadnought's energy is rising, fast." "How fast?" Varkesh demanded. "We have never seen numbers like this." "The ship is powering up a weapon we cannot identify." Another officer stood. "Commander, our shields are dropping." "What? Why?" "We don't know. Nothing is attacking us. The Dreadnought is not firing. But our shields are losing power anyway." Varkesh froze. This was worse than a weapon. It meant the Dreadnought was so powerful. Even its passive energy field was damaging their systems. "Commander," the comms officer whispered, "the fleet is requesting instructions." Varkesh's jaw locked. There was only one order he could give. "Prepare retreat." The entire bridge fell silent. Retreat? Before a single shot was fired? But everyone knew the truth. If they stayed, they would die. Inside the Dreadnought, the message. Captain Mira Solis walked to the center console and activated the comms system. "Open a channel," she said. "To which ship?" the officer asked. "All of them." A holographic circle formed around Mira. Light bent around her like she was standing inside a sun. "This is Captain Mira Solis of the human Dreadnought Apex Dawn," she said. Her voice echoed across the Imperial fleet. "Galactic Empire, you fired the first shot. You pointed your weapons at my people. You surrounded us. And you believed we would kneel." Every Imperial officer who heard her felt their hearts shake. "But humans do not kneel," Mira continued. "We rise." The Dreadnought's lights turned bright silver blue. "We do not wish to destroy you. But if you force war upon us, we will finish it." The comms cut. Silence returned. Thick, heavy, terrifying. Empire's breaking point. "Commander," the officer shouted suddenly. "The human ship, its weapons are fully charged." That was it. Varkesh gave the order. "All ships, retreat." Every engine in the Imperial fleet ignited at once. Battleships, cruisers, escorts, all ran. They did not fire. They did not threaten. They fled. Because the human Dreadnought had awakened. And the galaxy was not ready.